first spoke into the mic, they were like, "We got the Easter Bunny in here," and then I dead ass looked around and saw no one else with ears on.
Larger than the footballers. She thinks that she's the footballer.
And it went pretty well. I arrived an hour early and then sat on a bench outside waiting, hyping myself up, of course.
Husband's own professional dignity in the process. This is like the point of no return.
A new acquaintance of mine has invited me to go out tonight to a live figure drawing class about a week or so ago, and I agreed. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where I agreed to those plans when I was like a lot higher up in mood. But I am trying to get myself up there. I have had a rough morning, a rough couple of weeks. It's been a minute. I blinked and then suddenly everything was changing once again. I'm not gonna lie, I've been pretty sad. I've been overwhelmed with myself. Overall, I feel kind of displaced. I don't really know how to talk about the things that I feel at the moment. At best, I was distracted. At worst, I was derailed. But who isn't from time to time? I have figured that throwing myself into my schoolwork and overall academically has benefited me. And when I zoom out, I'm actually doing extremely well. I did, in fact, spend most of the semester thinking I was failing it because I was worried about one class in particular. That's essentially just 2 exams and that's it. And you would think, oh yeah, that's great. That's horrible when you are stressed out, chronically ill, and having a massive brain fog episode. That's neither here nor there. But turns out I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I met with both of my advisors and I'm on track. I'm going to be checking out summer and fall courses. I'm going to be taking on as much as I can to speed up the process. Yeah, besides that, I put a deposit down on an apartment. It is really weird to say. I have 2 lovely roommates. I'm not going to be completely moving from here. I'm using these as kind of like checkpoints and launching points because I already work across the bridge. I'll be interviewing for places uptown because their wages are higher, I guess. It's really weird. I've noticed that though. I think it's because it's in the white neighborhoods. I get in where I can. I started sending my resume to places because I was just like, oh shit, I have a website now. I have a website now. I built my portfolio, which I've been really meaning to do. And yeah, I've been sending it out to places and I have to call back a particular place. So hopefully I'll be moving this week, if not next week. So next week is my half birthday and I want to do a small project for that because I really want to get into like celebrating my life. But overall, right now, I'm just trying to hype myself up to go outside. I've been really filled with weight and anxiety about going outside as of lately. The agoraphobia, and childhood mutinism is ripping through me with a sour familiarity. But hey, that's okay. Yeah. Good morning. I must admit, last night was pretty hard. There was a bit of a time gap though. After the live studio drawing event, whatever, I ended up leaving about an hour into the event. When we all just took a break, I figured it was an easy getaway since I had class the next morning and I was just feeling really sad from everything that happened the morning of. And then yesterday was April 1st. Oddly enough, felt like one big joke by the end of the night, I will admit, which I guess fits the occasion. I was invited out to go listen to some music and I didn't have cash on me for the entry fee, and for some reason the ATM wasn't allowing me to take out my money. So I just called it quits right then and there. I was just like, you know what? It took me more time to get here than I've spent actually here and enjoyed myself now. So I'm just gonna take it as a sign, because quite literally before I even left the house, I was scratched by a caterpillar, which sounds really odd, but once again, it's the occasion. I guess I carried him home with me, and he was really fat, and it's a slightly big deal because I'm allergic to trees, a lot of them. So my skin started to wilt up. It was painful at first. It was like really painful at first, but I ended up getting over it. And from that to having to wait for the bus for like a solid like 30 minutes to then not even having freaking cash, I was just gonna wrap it up for the night. Anyways, I do in fact have a interview this afternoon. It's for ceramics, which means I have to cut off these bad boys. I'm gonna miss them dearly. if I even want my pot to stand a chance against my fruit ninja slicers. So, and I think I also am going to practice throwing on my mini wheel just so I can talk myself through it, because I essentially have to audition for them in a way. The ideal part would be I come out of this being a part-time, wheel throwing teacher. Okay. Hi, hello. I hope you're all well. I'm essentially setting up my Vivo machine. It's a tiny pottery wheel. I'm a ceramicist, that's my major. You're gonna see me do a lot of shit in this vlog, but that's essentially what I do. I bought it with a coupon. All that to say is don't do this at home. This is clay that you do have to fire in a kiln, aka thousands of degrees for it to harden. These can completely shatter right then and there. That's why I have water, because I essentially don't keep them afterwards. And I'm okay with having this in my living space because it's such a small amount. And once again, I don't keep them. But yeah, here's some of the things that I've thrown. I will say something to just be mindful of if you do get this machine is you can't apply that much pressure. This is the largest amount of clay that I have used. Don't apply that much pressure. It will stop and stutter and you will feel it underneath your fingers. Just a warning. Besides that, as long as you have a delicate hand, you should be okay. I I ended up going to my interview and it went pretty well. I arrived an hour early and then sat on a bench outside waiting, hyping myself up, of course. Before, of course, yeah, before going in at the more socially acceptable time, being 15 minutes early. Okay. I ended up bringing two of like the little minis, and they quite enjoyed them actually. I gave them my two best ones. Obviously, first impressions matter. But these are cute too. This one was just too chipped. And then this one, it's kind of boring. But I would like to think that they were very, very, very happy. Um, they were very, very happy to receive those mini pottery vessels, which makes me happy, obviously. As he described it, it was a great example of my technical skills. So All that to say is securing this job would be pretty good for the summertime. It's another gig position, but it's momentum nonetheless.
Today. And everyone's like, I don't think we need to know this. Yeah, she's like, that's crazy. Other people are saying, like, they don't really care. They like the card on his jerseys. They're throwing it back at him. Take that away from you. There must be some professional dignity in the process. This is like the point of no return.
Okay. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Happy Good Friday. I didn't realize that it was in fact Easter. Whoa, that's a big fly. I realized that it was going to be Easter on Sunday. So that's gonna be cute. I'm going to go in for a shadowing shift tomorrow for the place I just interviewed at yesterday. So I think I'm gonna wear bunny ears to that. I think it might be cool, right? They seem to like my whimsy so far, so I'll continue. I just finished painting. I'll probably do an entire different separate video on what I'm working on over here, but you know, just because it's a bit personal. My half birthday is in fact next week, and I really want to make a shirt. I'm going to have to make a pattern for it because I think it's really simple and it's really easy, especially since I got my serger. What was it, like one of my last videos ago? I went to Facebook. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace, and I really want to use it. But yeah. Oh, I have paint. Oops. The thing I've been waiting all week for has finally come. Perfect. They keep giving me the same discount code and it never works. Besides that, it's all right. How amazing. Oh, I have ear rabbits on. Wait. Rabbit ears on. Tomorrow is Easter. Thank you so much for spending the week with me. Yeah, I'll probably see you when I'm going home. I'm back and listen to me too. Yeah, keep my bro cool. The ladies walking cool. My brother dressing all black. Walking with your boo. What you say? This is our free.
Oh, 1 mile in fog patches and showers early Friday, but improving to greater than 6 miles on Friday morning.
Star